Just curious, from your December matchup to now, where have you seen the most growth in Oral Roberts? And is there anything in particular that's really stood out to you about their plays so far in the tournament?
Well, they're a confident team right now. They're very well coached. I think they have improved dramatically since we played them in the non-conference. They have two star players, Asmus, number 3, and then obviously number 0. Both those guys at the one handling the ball and pick and roll, and then the screen setting, and they flip screens with number 0, and he's a great pick and pop player. So they present a lot of problems. They have shooting. They're good cutters. And Asmus is just so difficult to keep in front of you, and then you add in the deep, long-range shot-making ability. Those two players in particular are playing as good as any combo teammates in the tournament right now.
Our next question is from Bob Kravitz.
Yes, Eric, Bob Kravitz with The Athletic in Indianapolis. What compelled you to pursue Justin Smith when he became available after playing at Indiana? And in what ways has his game developed throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, I think having played Indiana, we felt like his athleticism, we really felt like we had to get a lot more athletic than we were the first year at Arkansas. We felt like maybe there was some potential there from being a multi-positional player that we could expand on a little bit. Then the more I talked to Justin, the more I felt it was a great fit to play in our system, and for him to play with some freedom to be able to isolate players. We basically played him at the 4 all season long, and then we've gotten into this tournament and kind of made some adjustments as the games have kind of flowed, and he's played some 5, which he really didn't do at all, during the regular season. But he's a player that I think has certainly improved as much as any player in college basketball, and I certainly think that NBA teams are taking note of his play. We've gotten several calls of people just inquiring about him as a player, and I think he's got more upside. I think he's continuing to grow as a player. I don't think he's plateaued at all. I think his best basketball is still well ahead of him.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Nathan Thompson.
Hi, this is Nathan Thompson from Fox 23 in Tulsa. Coach, ORU is obviously the biggest Cinderella left in the Sweet 16 now. Does that change any way that you prepare for this or motivate your team, taking on a 15 seed instead of taking on a 2 seed Ohio State?
I don't think so, Nathan. I think, we're we have great respect for Oral Roberts. They played us really well at our place. They're a way better team. We're a drastically different team. I don't think so. I think that, when there's 16 teams left, you have to understand that every team is capable. Oral Roberts has beaten 2 great basketball teams. And, a few years ago when we were at Nevada and we were playing Loyola, it was the same conversation and Loyola ended up beating us on a last-second shot. There's a reason that Oral Roberts is still playing right now. It's because they're really talented. They have 2 stars, and they're very, very well coached.
So you won't feel any need Saturday before the game to say, you got to tell your players you're not going to win this just by showing up on the court.
Say that again, Nathan. I'm sorry.
So you're not going to. There's no part of you that feels like you're going to have to remind your players that just showing up Saturday is not going to get it done against this team, even though they are a 15 seed.
No, the way that we're preparing and watching film and hitting the practice floor, we're not going to win the game unless we bring our A-plus game. It's not going to happen. If we play our B game or C game, we will be, in our beds in Northwest Arkansas, by early Sunday morning. So, no, we have to play great basketball in order to win. Just as any team from here on out, if you're going to get to the Elite Eight, you better play really well.
Okay, thank you.
Our next question is from Andrew Hutchinson.
Yeah, Coach Andrew Hutchinson, hogbeat.com. When y'all played ORU earlier in the year, y'all held Max Abmas to 11 points. What do you remember about being able to slow him down? And is there anything you can take from that and do it this game?
I don't think so, Hutch. You guys have heard me say it over and over. Every game takes on its own storyline. Every game takes on its own identity and comes up with its own themes based on how shots are falling. And look, he's the nation's leading scorer. He's been dominant in the 2 NCAA tournament games. So, they're going to be prepared for the way that we defended him at our place. And we're different. I mean, Devo Davis played, under double-digit minutes. I think he played 8 minutes. We have a different starting lineup. If we go back to the same lineup that we went with, which we're still tinkering back and forth, whether we, change again from what we did with, Texas Tech. To me, players have off nights, and I don't think you can take too much. We've watched all of our last game as a team. But more importantly, we're watching, what's going on of late with games.
Our next question is from Ross Dellinger.
Hey, Eric. Ross Dellinger with Sports Illustrated. You and Nate Oates, 2 second-year, SEC coaches, got your team in the Sweet 16, kind of played maybe a similar high-energy, fast-paced style. Can you compare how you guys have both maybe built these programs so quickly and just compare your styles maybe a little bit?
Yeah, Ross, I think the styles are really, really similar. Alabama and Coach Oates have done a great job of playing with great pace, and they're much more reliant on the 3-point shot than we are, but very similar in trying to play with pace. I would say that both Alabama and Arkansas up to this point are probably 2 very, very, very underrated defensive teams. But I do think there's obviously a lot of similarities when you look at the rosters, and Coach Oates has done a great job. His whole staff has, and I think both teams play really hard too, and they both teams look connected during the 40 minutes. So. I think those are some of the similarities, and we have great respect for Alabama and what they've done this year, and they have as much talent and playing as well as anybody in the country right now.
Eric, what's your relationship with like with him? Do you go back at all? Any connection back in your careers
with Coach Oates?
Yeah.
No connection. Actually, connection with Coach Avery Johnson, who was at Alabama before and coached and coached there, because I had Avery with me. And Avery had some pretty good players at Alabama when he was there too. But Coach Oates and I played against each other when I was at Nevada, and he was coaching at Buffalo up in the Alaska, shootout, and then obviously. Played him once last year and then twice this year. So, but he does a great job with his team. I love how they've, utilized analytics and taken that into a lot of the style of play. And they're really, really hard to guard. He's got a really creative mind with basketball.
Next question is from Olivia Ray, Wish TV.
Hi, Coach. I'm doing a goofy story here today on coaches dressing casual here in the tournament, here all season long. Big fan I see right here. I wanted to know, one, did you even pack a suit as you came to Indy here? Do you think you'll wear one maybe as you keep winning? Maybe if you move on to the Elite Eight or anything? And what are your feelings on this switch?
Well, it's not a switch for me, Olivia. So, at Nevada, year one, because I was the first time college coach, I wore a suit and never wore one the last 3 years at Nevada. So I've been going this polo game before it became, I do own a suit. I hope to never wear it the rest of my life. So if I never have to put a tie on again the rest of my life, I will be extremely happy. Where I grew up in San Diego, suits, hard shoes, and ties are not cool. So I'm all for the polo game. If we advance, if we were ever fortunate enough to continue to play, you will never see me, in a suit. Matter of fact, the first time I wore a polo in an NCAA game, I actually asked the NCAA representative the day prior to the game if it was okay if I did that in this tournament, and I got the thumbs up. So, and never looked back.
Our next question is from Emily Giambalvo, Washington Post.
Hi, this is Emily Giambalvo from the Washington Post. I was just curious, with you having been in Indy for quite a bit now and hoping to stay much longer, is there any unique challenge and things you're trying to do with your players to help them stay mentally fresh and make sure their lives aren't just hotel, convention center, hotel?
I mean, just little, we went to the zoo last night. It is mentally challenging for sure. It's emotionally challenged for sure. The NCAA has done an incredible job. It really is as true a bubble as you could imagine. But we're doing little mini film sessions, 5-minute segments. We've done. I just came from study hall. Prior to study hall, some of us went and played wiffle ball outside at the baseball stadium. We try to walk every day the baseball stadium. I've been lifting with the team. We have a lift session every day for 45 minutes. We've had night shooting after our practices, so I feel like we've been pretty busy, but certainly challenging for everybody, but well worth it. And like I said, the NCAA has done an incredible job making the best of a pandemic, and we just feel fortunate that that this has worked out so well, and everybody just wants to get to the finish line and have a national championship game, and then hopefully get back to some normalcy next year.
Our next question is from Cameron Cox, 12 News Phoenix.
Hey, Coach, it's Cameron Cox, 12 News here in Phoenix. By the way, Doug Tamaro wants me to tell you hello this morning. Coach, what do you remember about your time at ASU? How did it prepare you for kind of your job that you have now? And then also, I've been following you on social media all year. The shirts you wear in practice of different teams, how did that start?
Oh, boy. Make sure you tell DT I said hello. My experience at Arizona State, obviously, my whole background had been at the pro level or minor league level or coaching overseas. And I wanted to get involved in the college game. Coach Sendek took a flyer on me with no recruiting experience. I didn't know what a bye game was for non-conference scheduling. I was clueless, but I wanted to try, and I wanted to learn. There's probably not a lot of former NBA head coaches that are willing to be a college assistant coach to learn, but I knew what I didn't know. 2 great years. And then, same thing with when I went to work with Johnny Jones at LSU. I thought that was a great opportunity as well. So 3 years as an assistant prepared me for Nevada. And without, the 2 years at Arizona State, I wouldn't be, a head coach of a college program anywhere. So I look back. My wife looks back at the time at ASU as a kind of a turning point in my career. I didn't want to be an NBA assistant. I wanted to try to, come up with a path that could put me in a position to be a college head coach. And I feel so blessed to be in this position, but it did all start at Arizona State for sure. And then with the T-shirts, last year at press conferences, I would come in and wear T-shirts of sponsorships, to try to help promote our sponsors. And then when the pandemic broke out, a couple of my buddies in the NBA sent me, masks, and then I wore, the T-shirt that maybe came with the mask of some of my NBA friends, and then it turned into some NBA or WNBA teams sent me some stuff, and then some Major League Baseball teams, and then literally before this, I'm playing wiffle ball, Indianapolis Indians Stadium. one of the guys comes down who works for him, hands me a shirt and a visor. And I thought I was done with the mask up theme, but now that I got one here in Indianapolis, I maybe it's not died. But I just had fun with it. I mean, the players got a kick out of what I would walk down and practice in, and I'm a big sports fan. I love the WNBA. I love baseball. I love minor league baseball, and plus I got a lot of free gear to work out in, so it was pretty good promotion.